I'm not going to allow myself to be further humiliated in order to be confirmed. I am here specifically to respond to allegations of sex harassment in the workplace. I am not here to be further humiliated by this committee or anyone else, or to put my private life on display for prurient interests or other reasons. I will not allow this committee or anyone else to probe into my private life. This is not what America is all about. To ask me to do that would be to ask me to go beyond fundamental fairness and the hope that in this country I would be treated fairly in all endeavors. When there was segregation, I hoped there would be fairness one day or someday. When there was bigotry and prejudice, I hoped that there would be tolerance and understanding someday. Mr. Chairman, I am proud of my life, proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished, proud of my family. And this process is trying to destroy it all. No job is worth what I've been through. No job. No horror in my life has been so debilitating. Confirm me if you want. Don't confirm me if you are so led. But let this process end. Let me and my family regain our lives. I never asked to be nominated. It was an honor. Little did I know the price, but it is too high. I enjoy and appreciate my current position, and I am comfortable with the prospect of returning to my work as a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeal for the D.C. Circuit and to my friends there. Each of these positions is public service, and I have given at the office. I want my life and my family's life back, and I want them returned expeditiously. I have experienced the exhilaration of new heights from the moment I was called to Kennebunkport by the President to have lunch, and he nominated me. That was the high point. At that time, I was told eye to eye that, Clarence, you made it this far on merit. The rest is going to be politics, and it surely has been.
Wow. And Justice Clarence Thomas succeeded these allegations. The Senate confirmed Justice Thomas by a vote of 52 to 48 and is currently serving on the Supreme Court. Judge Clarence Thomas is an American lawyer who serves as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court nominated by George H.W. Bush to take the place of Judge Thurgood Marshall and has served us since 1991.
Can't touch this.
Yeah, that was actually the song that was playing in 1991. After succeeding Judge Thurgood Marshall, Judge Thomas has been a Senior Associate Justice, the longest serving member of the court with a tenure of 30 years plus 107 days today as I record February 7, 2022.
When I think of Clarence Thomas, I think of perseverance, leadership, and the American dream. I envision an underprivileged young man with a drive and determination to overcome every obstacle in his way.
Of what it might mean, what it could mean, as opposed to what it may have turned out to mean.
You know, my grandfather was an interesting man. He, of course, dominated our lives. And he felt that as these rights were vindicated, that we had an obligation to measure up, to use them. I'll give you a separate example. When the Savannah Public Library finally desegregated and we were allowed to go to the main library, his point was that we were obligated to use it. That is, we had to show up no matter what, and we had to read books because we finally had a right to do so. So when it came to education, as the rights became available, we had an obligation to use them properly. So he would say to me in 1964, when I went to a seminary, which was previously all white, he said, "Don't shame me and don't shame the race." In other words, you have to perform.
Hey guys, it's Jose, your regular Joe Blow, keeping an eye out and my ears open, as always, for you guys. Justice Clarence Thomas. As you guys know, it's my number 3. It's an honor to research him. After all he has been through, he still endured, persevered with great tenacity. He has committed his life to conserve the Constitution. I respect that wholeheartedly. Let's dive in to some interviews with him, from his adversities to lectures. Fair use.
You may not think they're as smart as you are, but assume they can go to somebody as smart as the advocate. I think there have been a few times since I have been there when people have been, quote, less than candid with the court.
Really?
That becomes a topic of conversation at lunch. Less than candid with the court. There is no advocate who wants the court to say he or she has been less than candid with the court. You're done. You're done. People are looking at you askance from then on. I think you come up, you're honest, you're thorough in your work, and you're candid, you're honest. I think that for advocacy before the court, I think it requires a certain flexibility, because you're going to get pummeled. I don't know how people do it these days, but I think you're going to get pulled back and forth. So there's a certain flexibility, but I think the candor and the honesty and the thoroughness are far more important. And certainly in the briefs, because I think most of the work is done in the briefs.
Yes, of course.
For whatever it is worth, the Declaration of Independence has weathered every storm for 245 years. It birthed the great nation, it abolished the sin of slavery, and it endeavored to address its effects. While we have failed the Declaration time and again, and the ideals of the Declaration time and again, I know of no time when the ideals have failed us.
Justice Thomas, thank you for being with us on Explorations in Black Leadership.
Well, thank you.
I want to begin with a question about Brown v. Board. I know it was decided the year before you entered elementary school, but did you have some sense that this was a big deal?
Well, not at the time. The big deal was learning the multiplication table and how to add, those sorts of things. But as the years went on, particularly 56, 57, you got a sense of it because there was quite a bit of talk about it. My grandfather was very involved with the NAACP, for example, so you heard that. You also heard, or as I mentioned and when I wrote my memoirs, that we saw the impeach Earl Warren signs along Highway 17 going to Liberty County. And I always wondered who this Earl Warren was. And later on, of course, I would figure it out that it was the Chief Justice of the United States, and he was in trouble in part because of Brown.
I guess there's no way I could say, did you ever think that you'd be sitting in the building where Earl Warren worked?
Well, not only didn't I think of that, I didn't think that I would ever see the building where he worked.
Wow, 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 wow. No matter what, keep moving forward. That's the message I got. Perseverance always pays off. Good always pays off at the end. It always prevails. Your Honor, it's an honor to salute you, sir. Thank you for your continued service. Stay tuned, guys, for my number 4. As always, I'll keep an eye out and my ears open to bring you my best. Stay free.